Davis.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us in downtown New Orleans at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. The setting in this dome just serves to amplify the excitement of the folks in New Orleans as their Saints burst from the tunnel a moment ago. They're set, and we're set as well as the Saints get ready to do battle with the Minnesota Vikings. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
Dan Bailey now to put the ball in the air, and we are underway from the Superdome. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They're led out by their 6-foot quarterback. You may have heard of him. From Purdue, it's Drew Brees.
And when you think of Drew Brees, you think of production, and you think of competitiveness. That guy competes on every snap, whether he's throwing it, moving around in the pocket, calling plays, you name it, he knows how to rally a team.
Well, they're going to get about 3 here out of this first down run, and that'll bring up 2nd and 7. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's 2nd down. The offensive lineup now, and the guy we highlight, Emmanuel Sanders.
You can use him in any spot as a wide receiver. In the slot, out wide, it doesn't matter. He just makes plays.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now Brees. He gets this one complete to Traquan Smith. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down. And a look at the Vikings defensive unit.
Harrison Smith's play has been so good in the NFL that he demands the respect of everyone. And I remember a couple of years ago when we talked about the top safeties, his name didn't come up in the first group. It does now. I remember doing a game a couple of years ago where the Rams were trying a lot of razzle-dazzle stuff. And Mike Zimmer, his head coach, pretty much said, sick him to Harrison Smith, and he ended that in a hurry. He can play close to the line of scrimmage, can also cover deep.
Let's go, let's bring it.
From the gun on 3rd down, Brees. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. Following the interception, Cousins over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there, and now it's 2nd down.
We always talk about receivers. If the ball hits your hand, you're supposed to haul it in, but it is hard to adjust to a pass thrown a little bit behind you.
That one was all the momentum going forward. Couldn't contort his body back to grab it. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Now Cousins, and he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking 1st down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
Our game not even 2 minutes old, but a quick red zone opportunity. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18. Cousins throw complete to Thielen. And he is out of bounds. Looks like right at the 15. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
They go play action here on 1st down. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Cousins gives way to Cook. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
The crowd here in the Dome making things difficult. 3rd and goal. To throw, Cousins. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Marcus Davenport drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. And Bailey able to knock it through. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves. Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
I'm scared.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Breeze. And that one was nearly picked. Not sure he was accounting for the free safety. That brings up 3rd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. He'll air it out deep for Thomas. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. Vikings turn up the heat and they block it. It's picked up, and this is a live ball, remember. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
Partners, you well know every block punt wasn't necessarily a called block. Sometimes the guy just finds his way back there. Doesn't matter. The play happens, and that one turned into 6 points because they handled it so well after the block.
Dan Bailey now for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. Able to get the pressure, get a paw on it, knock it down, and then go and grab it and take it into the end zone. What a play. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Now on the return here, we've got an injured player down there. We'll check on his status when we get back. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Kamara. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards, good for his Saints, 1st down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
Now a throw left sideline here is complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A very solid gain of 27. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen, but everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
Now Breeze, and it's hauled in by Jared Cook. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 10 yards, good for his Saints, 1st down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. He'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Breeze. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. Breeze on the hook up to Thomas for the New Orleans first.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Kamara. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll run it with Kamara. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that is going to set up 3rd and goal.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. This is caught. And he takes this down to about the 2 before going out of bounds. They wind up with 6 on the hook up there, but it's not enough. 4th and goal.
Now, that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch a game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
And Lutz's kick is good. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And now out comes Minnesota. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns. Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Cousins now. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Demario Davis coming in for the sack that time.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. 3rd and long for Cousins. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. They'll get 19 out of this, but it will still bring up a 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent gain. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. So on 4th down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense.
Quarterback, don't get nervous now. We ain't beginning.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Tackle made by Eric Kendricks.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On 2nd down, Kamara. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
Let's go.
12 yards there, good for a Saints first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Here we go.
A 10th carry for Kamara. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And I don't think Kamara got there. Looks like they stopped him short. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
Own side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
Here's Thomas Morstead now. And remember, he had his first punt blocked. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Give to Cook out of the gun. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. 10-3 our score after one here on EA Sports. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They go play action. Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 23 yards on the play.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Here we go. Here we go.
Play action now. Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The sack is by Janoris Jenkins coming in off the corner.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get into that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. He was true on his first, this a tough one from 49 yards away. And his kick is good. Didn't hit it all that well, but he got enough on it to put it through. And they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They're in a 13-3 hole here now as they come up on 1st down. So Bree's going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their own 26. From the gun, it's Breeze. It's caught. Smith. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Breeze now to throw. Complete. Smith has it. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Breeze now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10. Now flags will come in, and I think this is against the Saints up front. Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
A false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that any time you hand the ball to a back.
Mike, ready. 5-8, 5-8.
All day, dog.
On 2nd and 9, Breeze. And this one complete to Smith. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 45-yard line.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Breeze. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. The defensive end, Danielle Hunter, drops him.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. To throw is Breeze. This is complete to Michael Thomas. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to 3rd down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
The Saints on 3rd down, not good, 0 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Breeze leaves this one with Kamara. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
They tried to run right into the teeth of the defense on 3rd down, but looked like those teeth were pretty sharp.
They were having absolutely none of it. Stuffed them for a loss.
Yeah, couldn't get any leverage up front and move people aside in order to run the ball.
And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Here's Kirk Cousins now, the centerpiece of our player spotlight. What can they do now, Charles, to make sure this highlight montage doesn't continue to show more pressure and pressure and pressure?
You feel like it always comes back to leverage, don't you? Who is going to win that battle of the offensive and defensive lines? Low man wins. We talk about that, but we think about it in a running game. Well, guess what? The same thing happens when you're trying to pass protect. Are you low? Are you balanced? Are you in a position where the pass rush won't bowl you over on their way back to the quarterback? They've got to reestablish that in order to try and keep their man upright.
Because they have been bowled over a lot so far in this one.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now a run with Cook. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
They run again on first down. Cook. And down inside the 35 he goes to the 32-yard line. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
And he'll go down at the 28. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
Watch the screen.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid-type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Draw play, Madison. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Let's go.
They'll try to throw now. Cousins. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. The Vikings on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 10. Cousins to throw it. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And they'll hustle up to stop him well shy of the first, right around the 15.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. So now the field goal unit trots out there for the 3rd time tonight. Bailey's kick is good, and the lead stretches. 16-3 now. So that one is his 3rd of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, but 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Okay, can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
A little closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Let's put them on the buses.
Now Breeze. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on third down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football.
No, possession's on. Possession's on.
Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free, anything you can do to slow them down.
And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And it may just be the second quarter, but he's in his zone, well on his way to eclipsing that 100-yard mark.
And when a back has a game, as we're witnessing right now, his name's going to be in the books, but it's really a collective deal, isn't it? Because that means he's getting plenty of blocking, a lot of help from his teammates, but he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he's made the most of it to this point. A gain of 6 there on first.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Now Cook. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They run, Cook. And he'll be taken down after a short gain as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. The throw complete to Beebe. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Check, 47. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Draw play, Cousins to Cook. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. He's got it. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Three red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. A 1-yard touchdown pass. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Here's Bailey now for the extra point. And that one pushes the lead up to an even 20. So that drives 7 plays in length, and it's polished off by a Viking score. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. The former Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr there to jar it free. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Breeze. He's got Smith here. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Breeze now 12 of 17 through the air as he leads his guys up on 1st down. Into the red zone, it's Breeze. Gets this to a standout receiver, Thomas. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another 1st down. It will. And the former first pick of the 2nd round of the 2001 draft doing his thing.
And the beauty of watching him play is progressions. Yeah, he can throw it deep, but how about his ability to hit secondary targets, underneath targets, and hits them with accuracy?
Ready. 95-56, 95-56. I'm here all day.
Breeze now on 1st down. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. On 2nd and 10, Breeze, and he's brought down. The Saints passing game in sync and moving the football. It's a 1st down. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. Two receivers left, one to the right. So an incomplete pass a moment ago, and that leads to 2nd and goal. Again, they'll throw with Breeze. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And Lutz puts this one through. And that will move the deficit from 20 down to 17. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one is maybe not exactly in the bag yet, but there is definitely a big mountain to climb in this 3rd quarter. The teams are already back out there, so let's not waste any time as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. Fielded about a yard deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Cousins on first down. And this is Cook with a grab. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Now Cousins. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Cousins again. This one taken in by Olabisi Johnson. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They go play action. Cousins. His throw incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph, and it's 3rd and short. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That'll bring up 4th. They had the 8-yard gain on first down, but unable to do much from there.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it? How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that first down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. So out comes the field goal team once more. This from 54 yards away. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
So after the missed long field goal attempt, this offense set up nicely at the 44-yard line. Now pass complete here to Sanders. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 14 yards is the pickup. First down, New Orleans.
It is hard in zone coverage to stop a curl route because when they see it, they just try and find the open spot and sit down.
Yeah, we always talk about finding the soft spot in the zone. What's the key to doing that? How do you do it?
You have to read what the coverage is. Is it 2 deep? Is it 3 deep? Because then you know where the linebackers are going to drop, what spots in the field they naturally get to, and you find that open space, and then you're in sync with your quarterback. He should be reading the exact same thing, and they put the ball right on you.
12 yards there, good for a Saints first down.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now flags will come in. And I think this is against the Saints up front. And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming, pick them up, pick them up. And someone jumped.
Now Breeze. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. Jared Cook, the tight end, was the target. But it'll be second down.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
You're right, they have had no room to breathe.
Here we go. Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
The busy night continues for Kamara. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And he's been one of their few bright spots here this afternoon.
And as you pointed out, so far he's gotten his. That's not been the issue at all. But the teammates, the other guys, they've been shut down. That's why the defensive guys have to feel pretty good, even though he's over 100 yards.
Yeah, he topped 100 with that last catch. 3 red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here. And Thomas has it. And it's a fumble, and the Vikings pick up the football. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense back on the field. How do you break down his game so far? Just the 1 touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't, not until you balance it with the error side, you know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. But that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid.
Here I come.
On 2nd and 7, Cousins. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Check 56. I'm not ready. Check 3.
And he gets the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 24.
Get ready.
It's a 1st down following a gain of 3. On 1st down, it's Cook. Tackle there by Alex Anzalone.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
All day, every day.
They run with Cook. He's been busy tonight. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Check, 47. You must be seeing me.
Cousins on 3rd and 2. And that will be incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. This is taken at the 18. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. Here comes Michael Thomas and the rest of the Saints offense. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
Give them 18 there, and the Saints have a first down.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely. I mean, size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. From the gun, it's Breeze. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. The Saints first down there on a gain of 11.
Sometimes the most effective routes are the ones that you run in the backyard, and you probably ran them when you were 5 years old. How about that little curl there against zone? But the key to it is finding the open spots in the zone. How a linebacker or a defensive back will widen to give you space. Find that area and let your quarterback hit you.
Now Kamara. So he got 3 on one tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Ready, 5-9. Mike's by 4. Here we go, here we go. Here we go.
Again, it's Kamara, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
So we got man.
Shotgun now for Breeze. And that's complete to Sanders. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
On 4th down, off goes Drew Brees, and on comes the Saints kicker, Will Lutz, for the field goal attempt. On the left hash, this from 48 yards. And this one is going to just tuck into the bottom left corner as he gets it to go. And that will close the gap down to 14. So his 3rd field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s and probably even 8s. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear. They want to close this gap.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota, and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs, and that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
A nice burst there as they'll get about 7 that time on the first down run. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
From the 35 on second down, Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. 20, 10, touchdown, Vikings.
Touchdown, baby, let's go.
Adam Thielen, his second touchdown of the night. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Extra point try by Bailey. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This fielded at the 2. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go.
The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. They trail here by 24 points. Got to get going soon, you'd have to think, as they come up 1st and 10. So Breeze going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Breeze. And brought in by the tight end Cook. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara, and they will only muster a yard here to the 38. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They run it again with Kamara. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
I apologize in advance, partner, but the beefeaters on the interior of this D-line, you just know they were licking their chops on 3rd and short. And yes, they were rewarded with a tasty dish, stuffing that one short of a 1st down.
Well, we got beef eaters licking their chops and tasty dish in one fell swoop.
I did apologize in advance, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. That line's not eating tofu. I'll tell you that much for free. And here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. Here comes Kirk Cousins now to lead his offense back out there. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the 3rd quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your quarterback? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win.
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
There you go. 47.
Off the play fake, Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Cameron Jordan wreaking havoc with a sack.
Brandon, more often than not, you'd say they've had his number, and we can count them up so far. 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks given up. But guess what? He's still been able to make some plays, and right now they have a lead.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. On 3rd down, Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, New Orleans. An impressive punt return of 76 yards. And the Saints get a bit closer.
When you got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach, but it's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they hit the ball and kick it right to him.
Lutz good on the extra point, and the lead will be cut down to 14. So his big play capability in full display there as he's able to return that punt for a touchdown. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a first down. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people have pointed out to me, this is a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. This defense starting to buckle down when they need to, and right now they're winning this 4th quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the 4th quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done, because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score, but they can't be so aggressive as to give up their edge, their gaps, and have the offense hit them with a big play.
Watch the screen.
On 2nd and 12, Cousins. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd down and 12. To throw is Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Sheldon Rankins abruptly ends that play with a sack.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sack.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Taking it about the 16. It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you got to...
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
And now out comes Minnesota. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go play action. But other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Sheldon Rankins, his 2nd sack of the night.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long.
Come get some. Come on, come get some.
3rd and long for Cousins. And the pressure gets to him again. Cameron Jordan able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
And it has been a good game for them. They haven't been pressured very much today, but on back-to-back sacks, maybe the defense is starting to figure something out.
Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. He gets this away as he'll wisely, I'd say, angle this to the sideline. And out of bounds, sailed over, looked like right near the pylon. This one's going to be perfect. Directional kicking at its finest, right down at the 1-yard line. Now we'll see what Michael Thomas and the rest of the offense has in store here. Let's see here, Charles. 6 catches, over 100 yards. Call that a pretty good day at the office.
And I love the accumulation, the catches, the yardage. That means he's having a pretty good impact on this ball game and really helping his team out in a big way.
Means he wants the football again, right?
And it's funny because some of these receivers are very vocal about how much they're getting it. Others are quieter, but they still let you know, give me the ball, I'm going to make a play.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. On the ground, Kamara. And Kamara has it stripped.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. The Saints on 3rd down. A pretty anemic, a very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Breeze now. Open man is Michael Thomas. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You've got the first one for the second one to even matter.
Ready.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Check. 55 to Mike. Check.
Working from the gun, it's Breeze. That's complete to his running back, Kamara.
That's it, baby.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play.
Ready.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Breeze now to throw. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to his running back, Alvin Kamara, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
The Saints on 3rd down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This is 3rd and 4. Throwing now is Breeze. And he finds Montgomery complete. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. He got out of bounds. That's a good thing, but still short of the first.
And now, since this brings up 4th down, the defensive play caller, grab your nerves because now you don't want to be so amped up that you give them a 1st down by getting out of your lanes, but you also don't want to just lay back and let them have it easily.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away.
You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1-yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of 1st downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 1st downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. Marcus Davenport there to take him down. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds and keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. The 2nd down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Working out of the gun, Cousins. That'll be complete to Cook. Certainly not what they wanted there. No gain, and it's 4th down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Michael Thomas now heading back onto the field. He's been a load for them to handle defensively, I know that much.
But look at him. He's got 7 catches on the game, and he's starting to shred them a little bit because not only is he catching them, he's picking up good yardage, keeping the chains moving, ball control, you name it. This big guy, what did you say? He's been a load for them to handle?
That's right.
Agreed.
7 catches, as you said, over 100 yards. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
To throw again on 2nd down. Breeze. And this is Cook with a grab. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Ready? Yellow lady. Eat. I got you, son. I got you. Ready,
Throwing on 1st down is Breeze. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Cook. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3.
Let's go.
Breeze to throw again. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Traquan Smith, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. It's caught, Smith. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the 1st. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Again, it's Breeze. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. The target that time, Michael Thomas. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
They always say that real estate is about location. Well, guess what? When it's a slant route, the quick ones, timing. Got to be able to lead your man with the football.
And the timing off right there, threw it behind him. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up, 2nd and 10. Now Breeze. Looking again for Thomas, this time complete. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
This will be play number 7 on the drive, 3rd and a yard. Again, they'll throw with Breeze. And that is incomplete. That close on third down, I think everybody probably expecting a run. Instead, they go to the air on third and short yardage.
I realize this is a passing league, and they're liable to throw the ball on any down and distance. But that short, I do question the call. Run the football and pick it up.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1. They'll go for it. It's Breeze. As Sanders has it poked free. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. It's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Cook's got it. Touchdown Saints. 10 yards on the touchdown pass as his guys are back within a single score. And he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown. A 10-play drive that time, and it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Now, the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained.
The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Here's Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cameron Jordan in there to get him yet again. That is his 3rd sack tonight. They can't figure him out.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack, and that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. This is fielded at the 27. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. It's a nifty return of 29 yards, and we have reached the 2-minute warning. Drew Brees in the offense. Down by 7, 2:05 to go. They'll have one play here just north of the 2-minute warning. And this will probably be the final play before the 2-minute warning. Brees now on first down. Thomas has got it, complete. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing again on second down. Brees, and he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up third down. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there.
And it's often hard after you've played really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off.
They'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Figuring they're going for it on fourth down. Remember, though, they do have all 3 timeouts, so even if they don't get it, all is not lost.
Yeah, normally in this situation, when you're talking about having to go for it, everything is in this play. But as you noted, with those 3 timeouts, they actually have a little bit of a safety net.
Back to throw. And he finds Kirk. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them inbounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it.
Back to throw, Brees. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Jaleel Johnson in there to drop him as that clock continues to run. Brees, one of the best ever in these situations as he's trying to get his guys set. Brees to throw. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down. I guess you can't be afraid to take those chances late in the game. He tried to fit that one in there. Nice job, though, defensively.
Well, to your point, it was a nice job of knocking the ball away. But you're also right. You can't be afraid to take those chances. That means your guys going downfield to catch the ball, they've got to elevate their game and come down with these in order to keep your offense moving.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. What a great sequence by this defense so far. They've given him nowhere to go with the football.
And they just have to make it stand up one more time because it appears that they've got their number. Can they not have a slip up here and allow the touchdown?
Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on fourth down.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense.
Brees going to go on fourth down. He's going to let it fly. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. And yes, they want the points, so they will decline the penalty, no question there.
You don't think they spent a couple of seconds mulling over what the penalty would do for them?
I don't even know why they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good, and we are tied here in the fourth quarter. So that drive in total 8 plays, and it all culminates in a Saints touchdown. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Cameron Jordan make that now 4 sacks for him in tonight's ball game. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they've got the football, and they're already knocking on the door inside the 5 at the 4-yard line.
I'm fairly sure that there's no good time to cough up the football. But this couldn't be much worse, could it?
No.
This situation, this yard line, no chance.
They set it on a tee for them. They're already in field goal range here late in the fourth now.
Yeah, warm up the kicker and just make sure they take care of the ball now. They've got a chance to put this thing away.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They are already in field goal range. Let's see how they want to play this, Charles.
And I have a feeling I know how they want to play this already. Run the football to the hash mark that works best for their kicker. They already have the field goal unit lined up, ready to run.
And that's a touchdown as they've broken our tie here in the final minute of the fourth.
I don't know how many more of these my heart can take, my man. I just don't know. Another big touchdown late in the game. They look like they're in control, but still, there's a chance. Block the extra point, go down and score, kick the extra point themselves. They can pull this one out.
Yeah, but also on the sideline that just took the lead, you got to get your defense ready and the special teams unit for the kickoff coming up.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Got to pull everyone together and make sure they're still focused and aren't already celebrating a win.
Lutz with the extra point, and they will take a 7-point lead. A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. One possession game. Time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having...
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Back to throw. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And a timeout is called. So now you're looking at probably just one final play from back in their own territory, and they're going to need a miracle. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. So they'll quickly now signal for the timeout. And it's definitely not looking good, but at least they'll have one final play to hope for that miracle and get him in the end zone. They run it again with Cook. And he is going to be stopped here for no gain, and that is going to be the final play of this football game. Well, Charles, this one's going to be hard to digest. You take the lead into the fourth quarter, lose that lead. Maybe they felt like they let this one slip away a little bit.
It will definitely feel like that because when you have a lead in the fourth quarter, all you talk about doing is finishing and closing a game out. But when you flip it over, how about that? Making the comeback and then finishing the game, sealing it on defense, they will feel jubilant in their locker room.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Saints are winners here as we say so long from New Orleans.